looking down. So that's a whole extra layer you have to get through. Even when you go to a club, you know what I mean? So, I see you, Pardon. What's going on, man? Yeah. So, yeah, like Cesar said, Boston is a melting pot because in Boston, and of course there is a racist past, and a lot of people think of racism when you think of Boston. But Boston is a majority minority city. A lot of people don't know that. There's more black people and Latinos in Boston than there are white people. Um, a lot of Boston's popular. I don't know the percentages, but a lot of the people in Boston are black. A lot of people in Boston are Latino, and a whole lot of people are Dominican. You have a lot of Cape Verdeans. See, I knew that was coming up, Cesar. Cape Verdeans are bad chicks because a lot of times people think they're Dominican, but they're not. They're Cape Verdean, and they speak Cape Verde. And Cape Verde is an island off of the west coast of Africa. So a lot of the women there, they look like very similar to like Halle Berry, but with like curly hair. So but they definitely are African, especially if you have them speak that Cape Verdean. You're like, okay, yeah, it sounds African to me anyway. It's very distinctive. It's kind of like African, but I think there's like some Portuguese influence as well. So it's a very fly language, very nice culture. You know, Boston people have accents, don't they? Yeah, they got accents. And I break into mine every now and then, but I've lived in so many places. I'm just a mutt. I think it just depends on who I'm around. You know what I mean? So yeah, yeah, yeah. Check out Boston. See, the thing is, you know, every time I travel someplace, I learn something new, and I'll meet. And that's a great way. I mean, if you're traveling, it should be easier to put the Mac down because all you got to do is just see a female and you ask her, just general questions about the area. How do you like living here? Ask her how she feels about living there. A common question I ask is, do you want to live here forever? It seems like a nice place. And it's like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. And even for ladies as well, I see you, Crystal and Shilly. Like Shilly, like have you visited the U.S.? Shilly is in the chat room. Shilly is a young lady, and she's actually in Manchester, England. So Shilly, have you visited the United States of America? So Young Suave said, I met Amber Rose in New Orleans Wednesday. She's actually quite down to earth. That's real cool. Okay, so you've been here. So now, Shilly, tell me what the vibe is like when you deal with American dudes. Like when you come here, what's your perception of Americans versus English dudes? Boston and New York, good times, very good. So what are the American guys like, in your opinion? See, we're actually learning in the chat room. Now we get to see what the ladies in England think about the guys here when they come over here. Because I've definitely gotten that some fly English women when they come here on holiday. For those guys who don't know, when Europeans come over to the U.S., many times they're here for not just a weekend. Many times they're here for like a week, 2 weeks, a month. And the reason why is because in Europe they have very lax vacations. They actually call it holiday. And holiday is when you actually have a very extended vacation. A lot of companies out there in Europe, they don't just give you 2 weeks vacation for a year. They'll give you like a month, sometimes a little bit more than that. And a lot of times these European females, they'll come to New York, for instance, and they'll just set up shop. They'll be here for like 2-3 weeks, chilling. So I think I missed what Shilly said. What did Shilly say? American guys are way too direct. See, and we had that last week when I was on the fly stream. I had a friend of mine named Renee who's from Toronto, and she said the same exact thing. And she said she actually liked that. She liked the fact that American dudes are very direct, versus Canadian dudes. They just can't get to the damn point. She just kind of wants a guy to just take the panties. She didn't say that, but that's what she wants. She wants a guy to just take the pennies. You know what I mean? So anybody know any good clubs in New York by Times Square? Pardon the swag. You need to holler at my homeboy Joe Cool. Joe Cool is a DJ. It's DJ Joe Cool. You can find him on my Facebook. It's facebook.com/flynessauthor. Matter of fact, this thing is going to disable it. Give me 1 second. Flyness author. Matter of fact, I'm going to make one change. I'm going to play one quick clip. I'm going to be right back. 30 seconds.
Thank you for coming out. Now,
thank you.
How did you enjoy the shoot?
I loved it. It was a good experience. I had fun, good music, good photographer. It was good. I loved it.
Very, very cool. All right. So now, what kind of projects can people find you in the future? Do you have anything up and coming?
I do a lot of promo work for like bike shows, auto shows. I have Model Mayhem, so if any photographers want to get in contact with me, they can look me up. I don't know the number, but you can find me.
Okay.
And yeah.
Very cool. All right. Look out for you.
Okay.
You're coming, right?
Yes.
All right.
I'm
Good.
coming.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right. So introduce yourself and where can people find you?
You can find, I'm Valerie. You can find me on Model Mayhem Facebook and any good bars around that has very gorgeous men.
Okay. All right.
All right, y'all. So listen, let me turn off that speaker so you don't hear an echo. All right. Hold on. Now this thing is tripping. Now it's telling me to log in. All right, but yeah, by the way, just to answer your question again, though, you can go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/flynessauthor. Add me as a friend. And also, there is a guy on my friends list. His name is Joe Cool. He's a DJ out here in New York. I don't know if he has VIP passes, so don't ask me that. But there are some good clubs in New York City. What I always do is I go to a website. It's 7days7nights.com or talkofnewyork.com. You can see what's going on every week. A decent club, like if Empire Entity puts it on, that group is cool because they put on very popular events, like at BB King on Saturdays. BB King is like on 42nd Street. That's a pretty good spot if you want, and that's real popular, but it's a mix. You have some hood rats, you have some dimes, you have a little bit of everything. It's kind of like getting gumbo. You got all kinds of stuff in there. Whereas if you go, now one of my homies, his name is Eugene Thomas. If you want a really upscale party in New York City that I recommend, you need to you don't stick with certain venues. You need to stick with certain promoters. One of the best promoters, and he's not paying me to say this, but this dude's events are really popping. That's that website. It's BLENYC events.com. And the guy who runs it, his name is Eugene Thomas. I know him very well, and he actually puts on some really fly popping events. His next major event is during during Labor Day Sunday, and he's having an event that's pretty upscale. His events are really fly. I've met a lot of females that I've kicked it with at his events. I go to his events and just I just make sure my phone is charged because it's like that. Like his events are popping. Like the flyest females go to his stuff. So I would stick to those. So yeah, upscale events are popping, man. Like even in Canada, I haven't been to this dude's events in Canada, but Young Suave, when you were up there, did you go to that guy Warner? Did you go to the Warner events up in Toronto? Cause I know Warner. He had like a boat cruise up there, and he had all kinds of things like This Is London party. But all right, let me get another. Let me see if we have anybody new. I see Chris Caesar, that dude, J Rock laughing, M John, Moda P, Originalism, Pardon the Swag, Shilly, Sneak a Sneak, Two Way Mirror, Yarima Pirate, Young Suave. All right, look, this is what I want you to do. Push 2 if you're currently in school, because I'm about to spit some back to school game. But if you're not in school, we don't need no back to school game. We need some. We're getting into the fall season game because things change as the seasons change. Things change. So push 2 if you're in school. If you're in school, push 2. If you're in high school or college, push the number 2. Push the number 2 if you're in high school. Ooh. All right. So we got 4 people. All right. I'm gonna spit some lightning quick game, and this also applies to the workplace. So this, you know, and I hope you guys have a job. If you don't have a job, do for self. Try your best to do for self. I have my books. Oh, also, I think I saw a question earlier. Chris asked if her books were in the mail. Finance, did you ship out the audio CD for you yet? Chris, the audio CD, she's talking about the, and I don't think I have a graphic of it here, but she's talking about the How to Write Your First Book. You can actually, if you want to know what Chris is talking about, you can go to firstbook.info. This is actually one of my subsidiary sites where I actually speak for a little over an hour and actually give an instructional course on how to write your first book. Chris, your book should have been mailed out probably the day after you placed the order. So I can double check, but I am 99.999% sure your audio guide should be coming in the mail. If it didn't arrive yesterday, it should be there tomorrow. So if you have any issues, just go ahead and use the contact information on your order form. But yeah, if you want to get your hustle on, if you want to, you know, come up with your own books or do your own thing, you go to firstbook.info, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, Shilly, what's your nationality? Because Shilly was talking earlier about how because I asked her if the food up in Canada was bland, and she said no. So Shilly, you must be West Indian or something, or Puerto Rican. I don't even know. Do they have Puerto Ricans in England? Shilly got to be something, because I heard some conflicting reports about the seasoning. What's going on, Ola? What's poppin', man? Nice of you to join the fly stream. Ola's in the room now. I'm giving Ola the grand introduction because Ola is not only Tariq Nasheed's assistant, but he's also coordinating the Make It Happen tour that's between Taz Daddy and myself. It is going to be cracking. It's going to be popping. We are going to hit from city to city. We always joke like we're going to hit New Mexico, and then we're going to go to Maine, and then we're going to go to Philly. We're going to DC. We're going to Florida. We're going to England. We're going to the moon. So yeah, we're gonna really do it big at the Make It Happen tour. And how we're gonna do it is, well, first of all, for those who don't know Taz Daddy is a friend of mine. He's also done everything. He is everything from an ordained minister to a shit talker to a blogger. He also has his own website. It's tazdaddy.com. And you can check out his book. He has a book called Common Sense Ain't Common. So that book is also going to be really fly. He's accepting pre-orders now. And how we're going to do it is, basically, we're going to have a few very attractive women in the house because, as you know, I do have some fly models. And just in case you guys forget, these may be some of the women you might see at the Make It Happen tour right here.